Welcome to Cinema Snacks, an Empire Strikes Back review. Right, depending on how we've done this is either the same episode, I very much doubt, or this is part 2 of Empire Strikes Back review.
Indeed.
Or if I do this on YouTube, I might clip this all as just one really long video.
Makes sense.
But after ending the last one with our team now off to Cloud City,
Yes.
and Luke doing his training concurrently, which involves a lot of handstands and running around with Yoda on his back.
I mean, which, to be fair, as a circus performer, as one of my many side jobs, that's kind of... That
I
makes
can't
sense.
believe Carly made you carry her on your back just for stilt walking and made you do all the flips.
Look, it's hard work being a circus performer.
But they then head to Cloud City to see probably the best dressed person in all of Star Wars.
R2 is my spirit animal. I think Nando is...
3PO was your spirit animal.
I meant 3PO. 3PO is my spirit animal, and Nando is this kind of like my kind of target.
Yeah, your life
goals. Life goals.
Because you see him pull in the Cloud City and Han's like, hey, I got an old friend who's here. So they call out, and everything about this, and there's little things they did while recording which wasn't in the script that I kind of love. So when they land in Cloud City, Han's not entirely sure if Lando's going to remember him good or bad.
Yeah.
So he goes over to him, there's a kind of stare down, and then they hug. And then, originally in the script, Lando's supposed to take Leia's hand as they walk in. Mm-hmm. But Harrison improvising, when he takes his hand, he then takes her hand. Mm. So...
to kind of push the...
And I was like, that's a great little improv.
It is.
Showing he cares.
Yeah, and it's just like, hey, mate, back off.
And I love Lando in this. His character arc in half a film is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, everything... Like, you see who he is, good and bad, but you also see, like, how clever he is, which I don't think he ever gets enough credit for.
Yeah, I can see that. Especially because his first priority is him and his city. He's not doing it... He's not being selfish. He's like, look, I've got all of this. I have these people to worry about.
Yeah.
And so when you find out he's actually betrayed them, and there's Darth Vader in the
awkward meal scene, which I've always wondered how he eats.
I think he just, once again, the robot chicken. It's just a scene of them just like sitting at the dinner table really awkwardly. Anyway.
Through the visor.
No, he's got a
see like smoke coming out.
I think he has a straw. I think he's one of those people who brings his own metal straw.
It's such a great thing for the betrayal, ain't it? Because you think they're helping him out.
Yeah.
And you just, the dawn is just Vader sitting there, you're like, oh no.
And I think, so a lot of the times...
and before this, we get an inkling that something's not right, because 3PO turns right.
Oh, yeah, and he's already taken out by someone.
Oh no, what's this? No!
Yeah, and
blown to pieces.
And I think... So a lot of the environments are either general grey, generally mostly black, or like stark white. So the fact that you've
Cloud
got
City, I love the visuals.
So Cloud City, bleach white, and then when you just have Darth Vader in that room, being in all black, that just feels bigger. But as he said, it's like, look, they've arrived.
But you got to remember, the Empire's the Empire. They're huge.
Exactly, they are. They're the dictators of the galaxy, and so the fact is, like, because it's kind of like, because he said I had to. They arrived here ages before you got here,
and he also. So part of the deal is they only take Han and the city, and Leia and Chewbacca would have to stay there under his
protection.
So Han's, I'm not even sure if he's even like interrogated. He's just tortured
for the fun of it, because Vader's like, because when he comes back, he goes, they didn't even ask me any questions. Like, oh no, he's just doing.
Well, to carry on from the previous episode, he's like, what did you do with my son?
But we don't. But he wouldn't have known. But he didn't know he's his son.
No, but he does. That's the point.
No.
No, Vader does.
No, but Han didn't know.
It doesn't matter. Han would be like, well, what do you mean?
We're not doing this. We're not going down your weird fan.
Yeah, you're already too late.
2 men and a tauntaun.
No, one night in a tauntaun.
One night in a tauntaun.
The Solo Skywalker story.
I'm going to literally go online now and find out if that already exists, so we can stop this horrific nightmare.
Or just hand wrapping his arm around Luke going, "You ain't flying solo tonight, kid."
The only reason this is a two-parter because you keep going off on this.
No, it's not. There's a lot to say about this film, especially the third act, where I'm just going to be like talking about it. That one too. So, before Joe crudely interrupted my grammar, which was spot on. Oh, you can tell when we do long ones because it descends. We're about 40 minutes into recording this two-parter, and now like the madness is really starting to kick in. So we're in Cloud City. They've been separated, and this is when Vader starts to use. Lando realises how big a trouble he's in because Vader's already starting to renegotiate parts of the terms.
Yeah.
So he's like, I will be taking the bounty hunter will be taking Solo, and they will be coming with me. And he's like, that wasn't the deal. And you just see Vader, the cold turn in the voice. He's like, are you not happy with our arrangements?
Yeah, because it's like, oh, okay, I'll shut up now.
And you see that exact moment, Lando's like, oh no. Like, he's just going to keep changing it. So this is where you see, like, Lando's first realised that he's going to have to change the terms of this pretty quick.
Yes.
But at this point, there's nothing you can do with Han at this point.
No.
So we have the greatest moment, one of the most iconic moments of this film. So Han is getting taken to the carbonite thing because their plan is they know Luke's going to come there. Like, Vader knows he will.
Because he's imprisoned their friends.
Because we're going to address this after, because then their narratives start to link.
Yeah.
But they need to test it on someone because he doesn't want to do it to
Luke, because he doesn't want Luke to die.
So Solo's volunteered, and that's when Lando's really unhappy about the terms because he thought they would stop Solo and sell him to Jabba. Like, carbonite freezing him wasn't part of the deal. So we then get the moment when they're walking through and Lando just knows it's not part of the deal, and we have the scene where Leia suddenly turns to Han, like, I love you, and the original line was, I love you too. Yeah. But Harrison Ford's like, no, more character would be, I know. And then he's froze, and Lando at this point, and we're cut back to it after we go back to Luke on
Dagobah.
That one. He then starts getting his plan to save his friends.
Yeah.
So back on Dagobah, and this is happening concurrently, it's just easier to describe it like this. Luke has been doing his training, and Yoda's trying to get into focus, and this is a through line of Luke's character, which they picked up on brilliantly, and in the sequel trilogy goes full circle, as I call it. Yes, because when he's talking about Luke, he's like, oh, the boy, he cannot see what's right in front of him. He's always looking to the future, always. Yeah. So they finish training for the day, allegedly, and then Yoda throws him a curveball. He's like, finished training we are for the day. And he's like, Luke goes, what's in there? And he's like, dark path, that, like, not. So Luke goes in, and he's like, he grabs his lightsaber, he's like, you won't need your weapons.
And he still keeps it.
Yeah, he doesn't. I always defend Luke with this. He doesn't really know. It's the first time he's met him. It's a strange planet. He's still cautious.
Yeah.
And you have a wonderful scene where, to get around the problem they kept having, did a crazy practical effect. Mm-hmm. So Luke goes in there and sees Vader. And obviously it's disorientated the way it's shot. It's slightly... The frames per second is slightly off, which is kind of great.
Yeah, it feels like they've cut a few frames.
So then he attacks Vader with his lightsaber. Mm-hmm. The head drops off, it rolls, and he sees himself in the helmet. Mm-hmm. Originally, they tried doing this with a prop head, and they could not get it to look right. So in the end, Mark had to stick his head through the ground, and he said the hardest part was because you're supposed to not move. He couldn't blink. Mm. So we're seeing it for a couple of frames a second,
and he's
Mark's having like hold their like eyes unblinking.
Yeah,
and it's like you can't tell, and it's brilliant because before the reveal, you can't tell is this them trying to imply that Luke's greatest fear is himself, and that's his greatest problem, or is it
he's afraid to become.
He could become his father, but he doesn't know that yet. But is it foreshadowing?
I mean, for me, I looked at it as he's afraid to become Darth Vader. Not necessarily because of the familial connection, but more of he knows his dad was killed by Darth Vader, air quotes, and he knows that Vader was seduced by the dark side.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of subconsciously he doesn't want to be subdued to the dark side, but not necessarily.
But it works on so many.
Oh no, it does.
On rewatch, it's a different.
Oh no, it totally does. There's each of those are just as likely and make just as much sense as the others.
And then he comes out and searches his feelings, and he's angry at bits like Luke because he can't quite put it together. You get that wonderful Yoda moment where he's I can't do this. Like I can't. How am I supposed to do these rocks as well? And you just see him as he's defeated Yoda just sit there, and just lifts the X-wing out of the swamp
with no effort.
And like I always say in these films, like Harrison Ford is a star. Yeah. Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher never get enough credit. Like the nuance in how he turns and looks up, like he sells you. Like we all know. It's on a wire and a rig.
Yeah.
But the way Mark sells it, like I said, this is what I love about this film, is when you're in this part, you are so invested. Like, I've seen it, God knows, 20 times. But I still have that wry smile when I see him do it. And then you have Luke suddenly realise his friends are in trouble.
Yeah.
And Yoda's a bit ambiguous. He's like, go back, you can, and help your friends, but your training not complete. But he's got to, and he's like, yes, but this could set upon a path. You're not ready to face Vader, but you must choose. And in a way, Yoda's trying to say, don't go.
Yeah.
But Luke does.
Yeah.
And he ignores him. He does. And I think everyone would do it in that situation.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's fully understandable because, okay, I won't finish my training. Because it's obviously like saying, I'm not telling you can't. I'm telling you probably shouldn't. If you go, fine. But you're not going to be strong enough. And yes, your friends might die. But at the same time, if you die now, it's all for nothing.
But you do get one great tease when Luke goes, and Obi-Wan, you hear Obi-Wan's voice is like, oh, if he confronts him, like basically everything's at a loss, and then Yoda, and they do the colour change, which I love. It's like, no, there is another Skywalker, and you're like,
right. So this is one of the reasons why I put a note about what's been changed since the original release. That vocal snap, that vocal bit, was that in the original or has that been added?
I remember it being in the VHS, but there are versions of edits.
That's the thing, because once again, having watched it yesterday, as time of recording, I'm like, wait, I don't remember that before. Is this new? Is this in the last 10 years added? So I wouldn't have seen it.
No, it's longer than 10 years.
But what I'm saying is so I don't know if it's always been in, or was it not in the first version I saw, but has been in other versions that I've watched since? Do you see what I'm saying? Was this part of the original back in the 70s, or has this been added in at some point?
I think it's original, but I will probably dig this out of my own curiosity.
Yeah, because I've got something similar for the next episode as well. Of has this been added in since the prequels?
I'll be hotter on the other one.
No. You'd probably know that one, but just little snatches like that.
Luke then flies to Cloud City, knowing it's a trap. And as he gets there, we then suddenly see the first parts of Lando's like, no, I'm going back on this deal. So he sets off his assistant to come to him. So as the stormtroopers are walking Leia and Chewie to take him with Vader, as he's changed the terms of the deal, pray he doesn't change them again. So I'm just quite proud of
And now you must ride around on this unicycle and wear this tutu.
And that's just what Job would do if he had Vader's power.
Oh, that's true.
He then frees Leia and Chewbacca, and the very broken 3PO's on Chewbacca's back.
With his head on backwards, and he's doing nothing but complaining.
But I get Chewbacca's thing, because he lets them go, and Chewbacca's first thing is his hands around Lando's neck.
Yeah.
And he's trying to talk, and Leia's like, she's not stopping him, which I think is key as well.
Yeah,
and it's like, I'm trying to help you, and he's just about to save himself. It's like, Anne, we can save Anne.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now I'm going to listen. But yeah, no, once again, fully understandable. But then in the last one, it's also established that not specifically Chewie, but Wookiees in general tend to be very emotionally charged as well. So I like it when you kind of already when they kind of add stuff at the earlier on where you're not where they're not out and out just blatantly telling you, "Oh, careful, all Wookiees are angry," but you just drop it once. And that's all you need, and then when you're like, oh yeah, of course, that was already mentioned so I should already expect to see this sort of thing.
And this is at this point, this is when our two threads converge into the main story again.
Yeah.
So Luke is now on Cloud City. He sees Leia, and I always think it's clever because she shouts at him, "Luke, it's a trap. It's a trap." But Luke knows that going in.
Exactly.
And I'm going to overanalyze everything about this because there's the lightsaber fight in this and the thing with Vader has a wonderful parallel of showing how Luke has evolved when you do it again in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But
I've also got notes on that.
Yoda says to him earlier on, the whole thing of Jedi is they don't attack first, they're defensive.
Yeah.
So we finally see Luke come face to face with Vader again, bar about 30 seconds in A New Hope when he sees him strike down Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan will become more powerful than he ever could imagine.
Exactly.
And you see them, it's where they've just frozen Han. Vader's there.
Yeah.
The colour for everything, like, so iconic to see Vader at the top and you've got the stairs.
And it's not quite a silhouette, but it's still...
It's wonderful. So... They go down there, he speaks to him, and you notice Luke attacks first.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on. I put Luke draws first. Vader, that was it. I've written Vader's saber comes out slower as well. So obviously, as far as I understand it, you don't really control the speed of the blade. It just comes out. But it's just so fun to see Luke pull his lightsaber. It's there, and then Vader just stands there. And his saber just comes out slowly as if he's slowly drawing his sword.
Yeah.
And I said, and it's like he's just being patient because Luke's impulsive. He wants to get this done. And Vader's like, I've done this before. I know what I'm doing. And it also shows a massive confidence in Vader's belief in his ability compared to how little Luke's skill would be comparatively. Because if Vader thought they were on equal footing, he'd take it a bit more seriously.
And he doesn't nearly get Luke straight away because he falls into it and then Luke does the frog jump, as I'm going to call it, where he just leaps about 20 foot up into the air.
I think it's literally just called force jump.
I prefer frog jump. I just like the idea of Luke being like a frog and just leaping.
Knights of the Old Republic is the video game. Star Wars video game. Man, that was a good game. My mate played it a lot. But
I completed both the games. There's not a lot of games I can say I completed the series of, but that is one of them.
Yeah, I need to re-download it on...
I love KOTOR. That's it, that's the abbreviation.
Oh, that makes sense.
So if you ever hear someone go, I love Star Wars KOTOR, they're talking about Knights of the Old Republic and not some weird game you've never heard of.
Actually, to be fair, I would have just been like, who's KOTOR? Is that like Ator's long-lost cousin? Don't watch Ator. Do not watch Ator.
A very brief aside in this. So one of my comic collecting aims, which I'm slowly doing, is I'm picking up all the first appearances of the characters in Knights of the Old Republic. Anyway, back to the big main.
Yeah,
Luke,
so they're having their lightsaber battle, and it's the fact that Luke knows how to work this sword okay.
Yeah.
But because he's just so emotionally charged, he's not being skillful. He's just whacking whilst Vader is just Vader's just parrying and just blocking because Luke isn't showing any actual skill. He's not really focusing. And this isn't necessarily even just like the dark and the light side or the Force in general. It's just a case of he's fighting angry, and you never fight angry.
You think it's close, and then they get to a part where they're moving through, and you've got the window, and that's where Vader just completely
trounces.
Yeah, and they're fighting, and they're getting onto a smaller and smaller platform.
Yeah.
Luke is cornered, and Luke's truly loses it. He loses his hand. It's the iconic scene. His hand comes off.
Yeah.
Vader's like, join me, Luke. Stand by me, and we can rule the galaxy together.
And the fact is, Luke is, even with one hand, he's still crawling away on a platform that's like 1.5 feet wide. He's still going. He's still resisting. And
then one of the most iconic lines in cinema.
Yeah.
It was Luke's beaten, he's cowed, and he's like, Obi-Wan never told you the truth about your father.
He told me you killed him.
Luke. Oh, he's like, no, Luke. I am your father. And I'd love Mark Hamill's scream. Because he will send it, you can tell he's got muscle memory, Dennis, when people ask him, he's like, Luke's just, no, that's impossible, no.
But the fact is also, because it's not just that, it doesn't just shout immediately, it builds, it's a no. It's that's not true, and then it builds up, and as it's slowly sinking in, it's just building up and building up. There is, my friend sent me this years ago, there is a YouTube video of families getting their kids to watch Star Wars, and watching their reaction when they find out Vader's his father, their shock, the fact that they get to witness this for the first time. I already knew that line. I already knew that line when I was watching the film for the first time. So I was not surprised. But the fact that these kids got to witness it before that. Yeah, but you're right. Even now, it's still kind of like, you know what? How will...
Well, it's brilliant what Luke does next. So he's got the choice.
Yeah.
He can choose to live, and he would have to take the dark side. But he would rather drop.
He would rather die.
Yeah. And he drops off, and you see Vader look down. And before this, they just miss out on getting Han.
Yeah.
The rest of them, like, they're very close, and I swear Boba Fett says something, and I was just like, again, like, shut up!
Although, I do want to say this one thing, because obviously there was no swearing in the last one, but I have one swear for this one.
Oh, okay.
As Vader looks down, my immediate thought was he just going, oh, bollocks.
Yeah. Emperor's going to be pissed. They just miss out on getting Han. Boba Fett speaks again, to which I was going, shut up! But as they're about to leave with Lando now in the Falcon, you hear Luke sends a thing to Leia.
Yeah.
And she's like, we need to go back. And Lando goes to say no, and I think it's like Chewbacca saying, okay.
I will go.
But then I said the things of Lando with this is when they go to get Luke, he's the one who goes up to the platform to get him.
Yeah.
Doesn't know who he is or anything.
No. But he's like... But then I think it's a case of Lando's obviously, as we said earlier, Lando's realised what's happened, that none of this is actually benefiting anyone except the Empire. But, so he's kind of like, well, I've mucked up. I have to... Obviously, they have no trust in me. If I do this... he wants to do it anyway. He wants to prove it. So him doing this also is his way to show, look, I am trustworthy. I messed up. This is how I'm proving I'm being serious.
And then I found out a fact about this when reviewing it. I did not know. Mm-hmm. So originally, them flying off with Luke was supposed to be the end of the film.
Yep, makes sense.
It was either 4 or 6 weeks before. Mm-hmm. They then shot Luke getting his hand done, like the robot hand, and then them looking out as Lando goes. They look at the galaxy, because when they put reviews of this out for people to watch, one of the things that come back is they wanted it to end on a happier note.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And I was like, that is a good call they made right at the last minute to put this in.
Because it's still a case of, it's one, what was it? It ends on the darkest hour.
Yeah.
But it still shows that, okay, we are down, but... there's still another film, but also the fact is we're down, but we are still going to continue. We are beaten but not defeated.
And before we do our outros, I have one last fact about this film that I like to share. So, we all know about Vader's iconic line, and we know that only a handful of people knew what it actually was.
Yep.
But I was digging through where they spoke to them all. So, Mark Hamill said, like, his one was, he first found out, and the way they told him, like, he hated it because he had to keep this for 18 months, couldn't even tell his own wife. So, they said, you're going to hear the line on set, Obi-Wan killed your father. And he's like, wow, because he's like, wow, that's a great twist, because now is Obi-Wan the hero, or was he the villain all along? He's like, that's a really good twist. And they said, one of the producers come up to him, he's like, right, we're going to tell you what the line is, but if this gets out, we know it was you, because only 3 other people know: George, the writer, the director, him, so it's 4, and Mark. And he's like, Vader is Luke's father. So that he plays it, even though David Prowse in the suit is going, Obi-Wan killed your father. And afterwards, it annoyed David Prowse. He went, if I would have known that was the line, I would have done a different posturing.
Okay.
To Luke. But James L. Jones said, because he did the line a lot later, like to keep, because they wanted to keep the big reveal tight, to the point of when they did the book versions of this that come out before, the original line was Obi-Wan killed your father. On re-releases, they put the line in. Okay. But James L. Jones said when he delivers the dialogue, he read it in his head that Vader's lying. Oh. So I was fascinated reading these bits, which I thought was really interesting how everyone interprets and what they would have done differently.
So here's the thing. So this is one of those things that I find fascinating about films and storytelling. In the fact that, I mean, because obviously because we're also talking about a film that's been released. Because obviously we've talked about films. No, because what I mean is because we've talked about ideas that other films have had that have never been released, and the fact that all of this was going on about a single line. Yeah. I mean, this reminds me about what was it? The second, come on, brain. The last Avengers film with the Infinity Stones. I can't quite. Endgame. The bit with Endgame with Thor's hammer and Captain America. Yeah. That scene. Because when that came out in the cinema, that became viral, and stuff like that is one of those things that would ruin. Because I think you can ruin some things. Some things you can be spoiled and it'd be fine. Some things would kind of ruin it. Yeah. That scene would have been ruined if more people saw it. Similar to this, and the fact that they didn't have the internet, but they still had to do all of this other stuff. The fact that something like this is so important that they have to go through so many hoops. Once again, it reminds me of the chandelier scene in Only Fools and Horses. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's this whole seminal moment where there's this it's pivotal, really. And just the fact they had to do all of this. As I said, even pre-internet, they were worried that it would come out too quickly. As you said, people were taking pictures of cars and assuming these cars would be in a film. Jeez.
So, how's that for a fact at the end?
That sounds like so much work. But they also had the money to make it work.
Well, Mark said as well, like a funny note to end it on, he's like, he was so worried, he's like, because I speak in my sleep. Oh no! So he's like, he was so worried about keeping that secret.
I mean, to be fair, so do I, but the bet that all I come out with is like, the cat's falling into the cupboard again.
Right. On that note, let's wrap up part 2 or part 1, depending on how we edit this.
Yeah, so if you did enjoy our podcast, why not follow us on Instagram at CinemaSnacksPod or TikTok at cinema.snacks.pod. And if you really like us, please rate and review our podcast on whichever podcast platform you're listening to this on, as this helps other people come across our podcast and helps it with ratings, so we become a bit more accessible for people who may not have come across to us before. So with that fun bit out of the way, I've been Joe.
And if you're listening very carefully, and I will totally not edit this in, and this was done off the cuff and real, Scott, say goodbye for your false ghost presence inside the Tauntaun. Right, and I've been Dan, the Obi-Wan kind of Yoda-ish figure of this whole podcast. Joe, thanks for your 4.5 minutes of dialogue. That was really
no problem.
Appreciated.
That's no problem. I'm the Lando of this place, mostly because this is usually recorded in my flat. So
in our 2 metre by 1 metre studio.
Yep. Mostly white walls, actually, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, they really should take the jackets off us when we do this. Anyway, we're going to do Return of the Jedi next, so if you thought I talked a lot in this one, wait for the next one. See ya.
Bye.